So in this video we're going to look at DCAs and mute groups. These are ways that we can control multiple inputs without the need to adjust lots and lots of sliders. So we're first of all going to look at the DCAs, and then we'll look at mute groups. So first of all, looking on this right hand side, we've got the DCAs tab. So we're going to assign something to DCA 1. First thing, just so that we don't get things confused, give them a name. So let's call that one band. So all band are going to be on that one there, whereas number 2 is all of our vocalists. It's going to be on number on the DCA 2. And then the last one has let's say speech microphones. Oops. So what we do is we select it again, so that in the lower section here it's green, and then we choose which inputs we want to go to it. So we're going to choose the acoustic guitar, the electric, the keys, the bass, the drums, and the extras there. And then we're going to tap on the next one here of the vocalists and choose Vox 1 and backing vocalists. And then we're going to go for speech microphones here, and so we're going to go Lectern, handheld, lapel 1 and lapel 2. And then the fourth one I'm going to set up as line inputs, and then we're going to select our stereos 1, 2 and 3. So now as we move through, so we've got line levels, which are all of our direct inputs from laptops and CD players, etc. We've got speech microphones. We can then see on the top here, look, that the handheld and the lapel microphones and lectern microphones are all selected on that one. Vocals, and that's just your vocal microphones. Then you've got your band, which are all of your instruments there. So if we go back to the inputs tab, we'll now see that every one of them has got a DCA selected there. Now what that means is that we can use the DCAs to turn down the vocals in comparison to the instruments. So we can turn them down in comparison, or we can mute our speech and line levels if we're not using those. So then when we go back, we'll see that here DCAs on your speech microphones and on the stereo inputs are lit up because they're being muted, which means that although this mute here isn't on, this one here is. So again, we've got a microphone here that what I'm going to do is just move over to that microphone. So you're now listening to that microphone. I go over to the DCA groups over here, and that vocalist, as I turn that up and down, it's turning that vocal microphone up, but not just that vocal microphone, because if I select that one, it's also turning up and down the backing vocalists as well. So that's controlling both this slider and that slider at the same time. So that's a DCA. That's quite a useful feature for those who want to be able to control multiple input sliders at once. Moving over to mute groups now. Mute groups work in a similar way, but the only difference, the main difference being, is that it's a pure on-off. So for this case scenario, call this mute group, if I call that one band and call that one speech, then the speech one will mute all of your lapel microphones, handhelds, lecterns and everything, whereas the band one turns off all of your band inputs. So then we click the mute button on the band, go back to the inputs, and there we see here, look, all of those channels are being muted by a mute group because it's illustrated as a little red box there. So a nice simple way to turn a lot of inputs off quickly. So to recap, we've got DCAs, which we can control multiple slider inputs all at once, but also we can mute those channels, whereas mute groups we can turn on and off lots of channels at once.